I think we've known each other for about 30 years. Back in college we met.
Yep.
Well, I've known Bill Gross a little bit longer than I've known Jeff and Christina. He was my flight instructor back in college.
Christina and I got involved with Bill through Steve, mutual friends, and started with Farm Rescue about 5 years ago.
And I work with Bill at UPS. He and I just met each other in ops and started talking about farm rescue, and I knew Jeff might be interested in that, so had them meet and introduce each other, and now we're here.
The side benefit of coming to help people out and having volunteers that kind of know each other, you get to reacquaint, you get to establish your friendship again. And at the same time, you know, it's a kind of a, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a sharing when you're able to help somebody at the same time.
And I don't know if I can mix this in, makes me think about the RV, just to show what some of the people do and our friends that know what we do. The RV we're staying in, which is a beautiful machine, is a really good friend of mine. I graduated from high school with him, and I called him up the other day because we knew that we were going to have a hard time finding rooms in Faith this weekend with the stock show going on. So I called up Tony, and he's like, yeah, go ahead, grab it. It's all yours as long as you need it. You're going to be out on the case. So Steve, when he flew in, he picked it up yesterday and drove it over here. And
didn't scratch it.
Those are the kind of things that our friends do, and even some of the community members, that they find out that we need something to make our time on the case more comfortable or easier to do. There's always somebody stepping up and going, here, what's mine is yours.
We just talked to some people in town, and they're like, we have breakfast for you tomorrow, come on out. And it's not even the farm family we're helping, it's just friends of the farm family. It's a whole community that just is thank you and welcome and anything we can do to help you. And it's overwhelming. My girlfriend wrote a note on Facebook. I have been kind of keeping updated of what we've been doing. And I said, well, we're headed out, or this is our first pass in the field. And I took a picture of the beautiful wheat. And her comment was, some superheroes wear capes and others drive a green John Deere. So thank you, RDO.
RDO being the one that's responsible for all our equipment, they've been outstanding. I just spent 2 days in Castleton, North Dakota at one of their dealerships getting the combine ready. We got the combine down to Aberdeen, South Dakota, where their other dealership is. I spent another half a day there, and it was amazing the support I get from RDO. Their technicians, they actually brought me into their morning huddle in Aberdeen, introduced me. There was probably 20 guys around there. I talked a little bit about the operation, and every one of them was like, anything we can do. Here's my cell number, call me after hours. We had a couple guys, a truck driver, one of the techs, help me get the combine loaded. Took me aside, said, here, let me show you a few things. So RDO with their equipment is bar none wonderful with the support they've given Farm Rescue. And then along with it, we've got Walmart. Bremer Bank has been outstanding with Farm Rescue. They've given us some substantial grants throughout the years, and without them, we wouldn't be able to keep the operation going on a year-to-year basis. As well as we've got Heartland Chevrolet. They've supplied the
beautiful truck
that we've been driving, and everything they do to support us is top of the line. We've got everybody from Delta Airlines to UPS to Pizza Ranch. I mean, we've got sponsors that from all over the country, the Midwest here, that are stepping up to the plate and making sure that we can continue our mission to help those families that are in crisis.
We're in western South Dakota right now. My father grew up on a dairy farm in eastern South Dakota, in Clark, near Watertown. And when I was a kid, we had a ranch out in Virginia. Farming people always seem to be the best kind of people to me, so I started a little farm where I'm at in Mississippi. And that's pretty much my background in farming, and I've always loved it and always wanted to get back into it, and this gives me an opportunity to you know, get back in the field and help some people out. Currently, I really don't have a job. I was a pilot with Christina at UPS and Bill until recently. I have a disability of my own that I can't fly anymore. I can pretty much do everything except for fly. I have a vision problem. The central part of my vision is going away. So flying really isn't an option, and that was my career for 26 years. So right now I'm able to, like I said before, I can do some farming back home, I can help out, I can still drive, I can do most things. Eventually, like my mother, I'll be legally blind, but hopefully there'll be a cure that comes out before that happens. So I can kind of relate to what some of these people are going through. You know, how are you going to make ends meet, provide for your family? So it's kind of an added benefit for me to be able to give back.
I grew up on a ranch/farm about 30 miles east of Buffalo, South Dakota. Left there to go to college in 1986. Hadn't done any farming since I graduated from college, and then it was about 20-25 years later that I got involved with farm rescue. I was looking to do something to give back to the community, and you know, this farming thing came up, and Christina was telling me about it through Bill, and I'm like, you know, that really looks like something that I'd be interested in. Get a chance to get back in the field and help families out that are in need.
I have very little farming background. I was fortunate enough to work for my husband's parents one summer, and I would consider myself still pretty green, but I help out as much as I can. I run the pickup, and I'm a glorified gopher. But we have a lot of fun, and it takes me away from my full-time job, which is a pilot for UPS. I'm based in Louisville, Kentucky, and I fly 757s and 767s. And sitting up in one of these combines is, I think there's more things to have to concentrate about than flying one of those airplanes. But I really enjoy being out here, and it's nice to help the community. I had an accident at work, and my right knee and lower leg was severely damaged, and I was on disability for 3.5 years. And with his help and neighbors' help, and I had a girlfriend that came and drove me to my physical therapy appointments when he was working, and I know how the farmer that we're helping now, I know how he feels about asking for help and taking a step back and saying, it's okay that people are helping me. Because it was hard for me, and it wasn't my livelihood at that time, because I had him, but when it's your livelihood and you have to ask for a helping hand, it's humbling. So I know how he's feeling, but I'm just glad I can help. I had help, and I'd like to pay it forward. And we had both of our kids come out with us, and we were seeding then, farming, and each one of us had our own job. And at the end of the day, my oldest girl said, "Mom, I'm tired," but that was a lot of fun. I'm glad we helped. And that made, as a mom, that makes you feel great that your kids know that helping out is the right thing to do.
This is my first case that I've ever worked with, farm rescue. I don't have a lot of experience with farm rescue. I remember, I don't know, when did it start? 7-8 years ago, when it was just an idea for Bill, and I thought it was a wonderful idea. This is the first opportunity I've had to come out, and just being out here and seeing the farming community, that's a great experience in itself.
And to know at the end of the day that not only did I have an enjoyable time out here running all this wonderful equipment, but I also did the most important thing and helped somebody that was in need.